What's up, everybody? It's Greg Birch with Delta Financial, and this is the Be the Difference podcast. This podcast is all about making you a better person in your life and in your business through coaching on sales, leadership, mindset, marketing, everything under the sun when it comes to being an entrepreneur. And we bring on guest speakers. Today, I have the honor and pleasure of welcoming Mr. Morad Fiki.
Man, that's awesome. Thank you so much. Thanks,
Morad, how you doing, brother?
Man, doing great, man. How are you doing?
I'm doing very well. I cannot complain. Even if I did, no one would care. So, tell everyone a little bit about who you are, and then what I'll do is after that, I'll read your bio and kind of introduce you, and we'll go from there.
Yeah, Morad Fiki, been in the real estate space here for the last almost 10 years. Houston, Texas is my playground. I focus on luxury residential real estate, some of the finest homes in Houston, Texas. And, other than that, I get into commercial, multifamily, investing. I'm all about that. But really sales. I'm passionate about sales, marketing, and just showing the beautiful homes that Houston has to offer.
I love it. And we're going to talk a lot about sales and marketing today then. This is perfect. So for the listeners to understand a little bit about more about Morad, he is the #1 real estate expert on social media in all of Texas. He has been awarded top 1.4% of real estate agents in the United States through Real Estate Trends and has over 100 million in career sales. Morad helps people who feel stuck in their careers and their lives and have no sales, no business, no customers, and no idea where to go from there to get out of their own way and realize the greatness within themselves. He believes that once you do this, you can unlock your potential and take profound steps to live your best lives and have a business that reflects that. Morad is on a mission to inspire 10 million real estate professionals and associate service providers to grow their businesses to 6 figures and beyond so that they can make a greater impact on their own lives, families, and communities. I love that. It's like making just people better people.
Thank you. Yeah, definitely. I want people to realize the greatness they have within them.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. And that's, I talk about this all the time. This is a lot of what, Delta Financial is built on, is making people better people, right? Because if you're a better husband, a better father, a better mother, better wife, a better citizen, better in the community, better neighbor. Like when you start to do that in all areas of your life, you find that in your profession, it also grows. It's like a rising tide raises all ships. And so you got to work on every area of your life. You got to work on your personal, your professional, your spiritual, your mental, your physical, everything in order to be the best version of yourself. So
absolutely. That is 100% correct. And definitely, who do you associate with? Who do you bring in your inner circle? Who are you attracting? What are you reading? What are you putting in your mind? What are you listening to? All of that has an effect on your life and on your success.
Oh, absolutely. I love that you use the word attracting. I talk about the law of attraction, manifestation, vision boards, all that kind of stuff all the time, because these are powerful tools that people don't use, like successful people use. Yeah. But then I try to tell, agents or even salespeople, like, hey, you really should start writing down your manifestations, and you really should have a vision board. Like you need to put that in front of you to where you see it. It taps into your reticular activating system, your RES. Mm-hmm. It helps you to attract these things into your life, right? As long as you're doing the work also. Like you also got to do the work. There's a level of that too. And I can tell just by the way that you're speaking that these are important facets for you as well.
Oh, absolutely. 100%. Yeah. I'm really big on, I've spent so much time and money on self-education, listening to Tony Robbins, Grant Cardone, some of the most successful people on the planet, and just seeing how they have achieved greatness, how they have achieved success. And also, what do they focus on? What you focus on, you will attract. Yes. Where energy goes, energy flows, so yeah. Like it's just staying focused and really believing in yourself and believing in what you want to do.
And also talking about your inner circle, that's a powerful piece too. A lot of people it's almost like they, especially when you're a young entrepreneur or you're not having success in sales or in your business, and you you have these friends from the block that go out and drink every night. And you're like, yeah, but they're my buddies and I got to go drink with them. Or your family's looking at you and saying, is this really going to work out? Like, are you really going to be able to do this? Don't you think you should get a salary job? Like that even that is negativity enough that it's going to seep into your mindset.
Yeah.
And it's going to get you to quit. You're not going to put 100% of your actions. That happened to my mom, actually, to me and my mom. Not that I cut her out of my life, but you know, when I was in insurance, I first started, she was like, baby, is this really working out for you? Like, cause I sucked, honestly. And, and,
who gets into any sales job and just takes off from the beginning?
It doesn't happen, bro. It doesn't happen. No. And so, she was like, why don't you do real estate? Like people buy houses more. And I was just like, Mom, shut your mouth. I'm not switching. I'm not jumping and quitting, because then when it's difficult there, I'll quit also too there.
Yeah.
There are plenty of people that are multi-millionaires in insurance. And if they can do it, I can do it. And I literally just like cut that conversation out. I was like, nope, don't even talk to me like that. And if you're going to, I'm not going to talk to you. It's that simple.
100%.
And you got to remove that kind of negativity from your life, from your loved ones, from your friends, everything. Because if you if you're hanging out with 5 drug dealers, you're going to be the 6th. If you're hanging out with 5 millionaires, you're going to be the 6th.
Oh yeah, that's 100% correct. And you know, the sad thing is the people who often sway us from what we want to achieve in life, the people who often discourage us are the closest ones to us.
Yep.
You know, that's family, that's so-called friends, you know, and you got to get to a point where you're going to, you know, unfortunately cut them out, because your destiny is too great to let it subside because the people around you can't handle that you want to achieve your greatness.
Yeah.
You know, that you want to achieve something great. And a lot of people say you can't do something, but really what they're saying is they can't do something.
Exactly. It is a reflection, because you are like a mirror to them and they see that reflection of themselves, and it is an egotistical blow to them. It hurts their feelings. So they're like, no, don't do it. Because if you do it, that means that there's something wrong with me because I'm not doing it. And I'm not going to do it because I'd rather be lazy. I want to go to the bar every night. And there's nothing wrong with that. If that's what you want out of your life, that is completely fine. There is nothing wrong with that. But if you have aspirations to achieve greatness, and I'm talking like people use greatness willy-nilly. They just like, oh, yeah, I'm great at this. No, you're pumping yourself up more than likely. Let's be real. But if you really want to be undeniably great, right? You cannot hang out with people that are not great at anything just because they were your friends or they're your buddies or your loved ones or your family, whatever it is. You got to remove yourself from that situation, and you need to start hanging out with people that push themselves in the same exact manner, because it's going to inspire you to continue to push yourself to new heights, push your potential out, because everyone's potential is unknown and unlimited. And you have to be around that same group of people.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, you want to get around people who are doing way more than you are.
Yep.
Because that brings your level of consciousness up and brings your mind up. You know, it was great when, you know, my birthday's in July, and as a gift, my wife got me.
Are you Cancer? Are you a Cancer, bro?
Yeah.
I'm a Cancer too. Yeah. What day's your birthday?
July 7th. Yeah.
Okay. I'm the 14th. Multiples of 7. Great. I like it.
That's great. Well,
I knew I liked you.
Birthday, some people want to go, like, you know, to the beach, on vacation, hang out, be drunk for the next 4 or 5 days. You know, what I wanted, which was great, you know, she got me 6 days with Grant Cardone.
Oh, dude, that's awesome.
So he had 2 seminars back to back, 2 3-day seminars. So there was the 3-day 10X business bootcamp, and then the 3-day real estate summit immediately after that. It was awesome. And I knew just getting around him and hearing him for 6 days is going to expand my mind, expand my thinking. It's going to prove to me that I'm thinking way too small, that I've been just, you know, thinking mediocre. You know, when we're like, oh gosh, you know, I want to achieve this goal. It's so hard. And then you got someone like Grant, who's a billionaire, and he's like, you know, I own 12,700 apartment units. I need to get to 25,000 apartment units. He manages $5.5 billion of assets, real estate assets. and it's like, whoa, just blow my mind.
Yeah. And
yeah,
the getting around those people that really do push the limits of your thinking. Like I love that idea because with Grant Cardone as you, I mean that's the area they're in, and obviously it helped being part of that. Why? Because now you're number one real estate agent in all of Texas. Like you have now the bona fides to show, like, hey, you do these kind of things, you get in these circles, you're gonna find more success, right? I believe in getting a mentor. Mine is more of like Ed Milet, Andy Frisella, I mean Arte. So getting around, dude, if I could spend even a day, if I could spend my birthday with Andy Frisella, I would do that rather than anything else. 100%.
Yeah, that's great. Yeah, so, I saw Ed Milet. I saw him at 2 keynote speaking events over the last year, and that dude's awesome. I didn't really know him that well.
Yeah.
I mean, I've seen him on social media and stuff, but like
on stage, he is fire, bro.
Yeah, he is.
He's really good. Yeah. So tell us a little bit. So you are a prior naval officer. Tell us about your military experience and that transition from Navy to sales to what you're doing now.
Okay, yeah. So my original, I enlisted in the Marines straight out of high school.
Okay.
So I went to the Marines when I actually enlisted while I was in high school at 17. And then as soon as I graduated, I was on Marine Corps Recruit Depot, San Diego on the yellow footprints with the drill instructor in my face, just yelling at me. Like it was crazy, man. I remember like I was in boot camp at 18 and I was like, what am I doing here? How did I get here? This is a nightmare, But it was the best thing I did for myself at the time because I had run away from home when I was 16. I was last year and a half of high school. I was sleeping on my friends' couches, eating fast food, just scraping by. But I was like determined to not drop out and I was going to finish high school. And so I had no college fund, no plan, but I knew I wanted to go to college eventually. And then the Marine Corps recruiter was like, dude, we'll give you 50 grand for college. I was like, sold, like, where do I sign? Next thing I know, I'm at boot camp in the middle of a nightmare. But, the thing is, the guys who go to boot camp, all of us, we were a bunch of misfits and all colors, black, white, brown, Hispanic, purple, majority of us from fatherless households, divorced parents, very neglected kids. That's what we all were. We weren't the senator's son. Those guys go to the Naval Academy, right? Or West Point. We're going to Marine Corps Recruit Depot. And man, they broke us down to build us back up. They taught us that this nation is counting on you. You have greatness. You will die to protect, serve, and protect this country. This country depends on you.
Yeah.
It was like, whoa. I mean, you could see when we got there, all of our heads were, on the ground, jaw on the floor. Everyone had a sob story. And over those 13 weeks, they broke us down, built us back up. Hold your head up, Ty. Stand tall. This nation depends on you. It was like, whoa, I'm someone.
Yeah.
And that was the first thing that really got that shift in mindset to where I can achieve something. This, even finishing boot camp was like, I don't even know if I can make it. When you got there and you're getting hammered every day, it was like, I don't know if I'm going to make 13 weeks. But towards the end, it's like, I did this. I'm going to do this. I can make it. It was just an incredible, life-altering experience forever.
I love that, dude. I've met a lot of Marines. I will tell you, working with the Marines when I was deployed, those are the best dudes. The best dudes. They just got shit done, man. They just no excuses. I was like, hey, what do you need? This. They're like, done. Just produce.
Yeah. Oh yeah. It's like we might die trying, but we're gonna make it happen.
Yeah. Yeah, they were the best to work with. And so you went to Marines, you got your college money, you went to college, and then I assume, did you go like ROTC or did you?
Yeah, no, I just still felt the calling to serve. I ended up accepting a naval officer commissioning. as a naval flight officer. And next thing I know, I'm at Navy Officer Candidate School again with the Marine Corps recruit drill instructors, who are like hardcore, hard as nails. But it was great. That was a 12-week course. I ended up becoming a naval officer and going through flight training in Pensacola, Florida. So, so I did that for about 3 years before I went through a reduction in force when President Obama cut the military down. I was a part of that. And I ended up having a chance to pursue my dreams of becoming a real estate tycoon.
Yeah, man. So how did you get into sales, and what was it like, that transition period coming out of the military? Very regimented, you're told where to go, what to do. Everything's it's predictable, right?
Oh yeah. So I got my real estate license while I was doing undergrad studies. So I already had my license. And when I was in the process of being discharged from active duty in the Navy, my wife, who was my fiance at the time, she was like watching the $1 Million Listing on Bravo. And she was like, dude, you could do that. She's like, you could totally do that. And I'd never heard of that show. She's like, you got to see this show, $1 Million Listing New York on Bravo. So I started watching it, and I was like, yeah, I told her I got my real estate license. She's like, what? Like, you already have your license? I'm like, oh yeah, I just got to activate it. Like, I just, got to follow the paperwork, whatever. Yeah. I've had it for years. I just never practiced because I was in the Navy. And she was like, oh, you could totally do that. So when I came back to Houston, and I had submitted my application for a few corporate jobs, but that wasn't really me. I've always had the burning desire to be successful and the burning desire to build a business.
Yeah.
And so the thing was, it was funny because all the corporate jobs, they were like, oh, hey, thank you for your service. I appreciate you serving this country, but your experience doesn't translate into this. I'm sure the next company will hire you, no problem. Like, this is what like 3 or 4 companies said. And I was like, I'm going to do this. I'm going all in on real estate.
Yeah.
I'm going to do this real estate thing. And so it was a big transition. To answer your question, it was a big transition because all of a sudden, I get my license. I'm a real estate agent, and my phone's not ringing. And I'm like, like, something wrong with my phone. Like, where are the clients? And I learned very fast, this is a business. This is not a 9-to-5, like, hey, go get your paycheck. You got to get out there and hustle and make some sales happen. And no one's going to hand you anything.
Yeah.
So that's the thing about sales. There's unlimited income, but there's also a zero. It's like there's no health benefits. There's no 401k. There's no like golden package. So I learned very fast, I got to get out there and hit the pavement and go network and talk to people and become known. That's the biggest thing I learned is how do I get known?
Yeah.
Because, the secret agents, the only secret agents that get paid are in the CIA.
That's true. That's a good way to put it. You shouldn't be a secret agent. We say that too. Like,
secret agents don't make money. They're broke agents.
Yeah, that is true. That golden package you're talking about, I think it's more of a golden shackle. Like it's meant to shackle you to pay for somebody else's dream, somebody else's, business. And you think, oh, well, I got this big benefit. I got to stay here,
Yeah. And entrepreneurship, I'll say, is not for everyone. There are people who
I was going to ask you that.
Love working, corporate jobs, love working for someone else, and they're happy doing that. That's what they want to do. You have to really have the burning desire to do whatever it takes to make it happen, because being in business for yourself is very difficult, especially getting a business off the ground. They tell you in real estate school, I hope you need 6 months of savings to get your business. And looking back, like 6 months, you need like 2 to 3 years, man. Like, it is hard work and it takes time. It doesn't happen in 6 months.
Yeah.
So
I was going to ask you what your opinion was about if you thought anybody could be an entrepreneur, if anyone had or work for themselves.
Yeah, you've got to have the burning desire to be successful, to keep going when it's not working out, to
Yeah.
keep going when there's no food on the table, when there's no deals in the pipeline,
Yeah.
and to keep and to commit and say, you know what, I'm going to figure this out. I'm going to do whatever it takes. I'm going to hustle. I'm going to work late. I'm going to go to networking events. I'm going to call everyone and tell them what I'm doing. I'm going to ask for business. I am going to get known no matter what it takes. And you've got to have that tough muscle, because 9 out of 10 real estate agents quit in the first year. They don't renew their license. They will quit. After they go 6 months without a paycheck, they will go find other jobs. This is a fact. The stats are there.
Yeah.
So how do you defy the odds? Is that unwavering commitment to do whatever it takes.
And so my thing is, how do you set up, and this is more like it's a theoretical conversation. How do you set up gateways for a new agent coming, a new real estate agent come on board, to weed out the ones that are the 9 that aren't going to make it, and make sure that the 1 does, right?
Yeah.
Because then you actually save them time, you save you time, you don't have to worry about the training, the teaching, the licensing, all that. And then you can focus all of your energy on that one person.
It's a great question. And really there's no exact science.
Yeah.
Because there's people that I know did not seem like they were going to make it, and they made it. And there's people that you would have thought like, oh, dude, they're going to, they're all set up, there was one agent I knew that her dad bought her a Ferrari. He took great care of her, just wanted her to work. But she was so kept and cush, she didn't get out there and hustle. And then there's the school mom, who's raising 3 kids, who hasn't, she's been an at home mom for the last few years, and has an unwavering drive because she's got to make this happen. There's no other option. Her family depends on her. She's not going to quit.
Yeah.
So you just don't know, because people will tell you anything, but time will tell. Time will tell. And the ones who really put their head down and are like, I will do whatever it takes, it's the actions that speak louder than words.
Yeah. I that's something that I'm always trying to figure out, because the way I see it is that the military, the U.S. military, all services, they have crafted a system where they can take a kid from any walk of life across the country, any socioeconomic status, any race, any color, any background, and they bring them to one location, and they break them down to their base form, and they build them up to be able to have discipline, have a great work ethic, shoot, move, and communicate, die for their country, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And so if they can do it, if the military can do it, there's got to be a way that you can almost like craft a training system that's almost like a boot, like a legitimate, like it challenges people. And the people that get challenged that aren't going to do it, they'll quit.
Yeah.
They'll quit. They'll be like, nope, this ain't for me. And if they quit, it's going to be like, dude, you weren't going to have the grit and the determination and the focus and the perseverance and endurance to make it in the field anyways. You wouldn't have been able to do it.
Absolutely. Absolutely. The military is a great indicator of who's got what it takes. But also, you can't just quit. You can, in officer candidate school, you can do a DOR, drop on request.
Yeah.
Because, and it was great. Our drill instructor in officer candidate school, he was like, every time someone quit, he was like, yes. He's like, my purpose in life is to get you to quit. He's like, I need the quitters out of here.
Yeah.
I don't want them on the battlefield or, in the air. I was in the flight program. I don't want them in the air, quitting and not helping the Marines on the ground. So he would love that,
So almost like crafting a training program, that's kind of that's been my goal and my passion and purpose in my business, is crafting a very focused and honed training program that I can weed out agents that aren't going to make it before they even start.
Yeah. What are those flags behind you?
Those are my guidons. So
yeah,
this right here was from my second lieutenant. I was a Charlie Company executive officer. That's the actual executive officer guidon. There's a guidon above it. That's from when I was in 4-4 ID. That's when I was an interrogation officer. I ran an interrogation facility in Afghanistan. This one back here, you can't see out of the camera, is my company command guidon. And then I got another guidon right there from when I was in Iraq, and it's from 1-8 Cav. So
I love it. Thank you for your service.
Oh man, thank you for yours, bro.
I love it.
So yeah, I served for 11 years myself, and got out and got into sales too. Here we are.
Military is a great precursor. You want to be good in sales, go in the military, and then we'll talk about sales.
Yeah, it really is, because you learn so much about finding. It's about paying attention to the details and just doing the work day in and day out, no matter what.
Yeah, sure.
Because that's what it takes. Like I'm sure, like you said, you were saying, hey man, I had to have like 2 to 3 years of savings to really like get going. And I had, before I started to like get good, it was like, I mean, I started to like really sell, I'd say 1.5 years in, but I didn't start rolling and like understanding the processes and making my own sales processes and really get going until I was about 2.5 years in.
Yeah.
So that's it's very accurate. There's a steep learning curve sometimes.
Oh, 100%.
Sales.
100%.
So what's one of your most challenging things that you've had to overcome in sales?
Wow. I will say the real estate roller coaster. You can have a great month, but this month is irrelevant. Next month, right? So you've always got to look ahead, look forward, and build a pipeline and continue to put deals in the pipeline, because we can have a great month this month, close a ton of business, and it'll be like, woo, yay. This is where a ton of realtors make this huge mistake, because they have a great month, then they head out, let's go to happy hour, we're gonna party, we're gonna have a great time, we're gonna eat lavish, and they're not working on next month, and then next month they get a big donut. It's like, feast or famine.
Yeah.
So just the big roller coaster, feast or famine. That's the biggest, learning curve in sales. It's not like a stable job where you get a paycheck every 2 weeks, no matter what. If business is up or down, we still get our paycheck. It's not, it's like you've got to get out there and, what do the Navy SEALs say? The only easy day was yesterday, so in business, I would say the same principle applies. You have to know that, hey, today's over. We had a great day, great week. That doesn't matter. What is happening tomorrow? What's next? And I've learned that from the most successful business people. Grant Cardone talks about that. Irvin Johnson talks about that. Always looking ahead. Okay, we close this big deal, but what's next? That's over now. What's next? And it sounds a little ruthless, but you got to be like that in business. So that was a big shift that I learned. That was probably the biggest difficulty, making a transition.
That is every salesperson in every industry. Dude, it's the same thing in insurance, man.
Yeah.
You have these insurance agents that'll come on, they'll have some challenges, some struggles, they'll finally kind of pop off, they'll have a good month, and then off to Disney World they go with their family, and they lose all of that momentum. They come back, they're like, I don't have any money, I can't get leads, I can't do this, I can't do that. It's like, why did you go to Disney World? It's because you got that commission you got was your business's money. It was not your money.
Yeah.
Right? You got to reinvest it, bro.
Got to reinvest it, man. Yeah.
Got to reinvest it.
That's a great point.
Yeah, that happened, man. That's a very common occurrence that, we always try to warn agents about, coming in. They're still going to do what they're going to do. But yeah, that's 100% accurate. It's 100% accurate.
Oh yeah.
So, now that you're number one real estate and you're starting to do these conferences, you're learning from people that are, expanding your mindset. What are your goals? What are you looking to accomplish? What is your kind of passion and purpose, and what you want to bring to the real estate market here in Texas?
Yeah, definitely. My vision has always been to transcend the Houston luxury real estate market. Um, there's some pretty hot agents in LA and New York and Miami that are just killing it in the high end luxury residential space. Here in Houston, it's just pretty lame.
Yeah.
The luxury residential real estate market is just really boring. And I want to add flavor, creativity. I want to bring my passion to this section of the business and also take it online. I want to put out powerful content that resonates with people and entertains them and excites them about Houston luxury real estate. And so I know I can do that through social media. And that's been my vision and my goal for the Houston luxury real estate business. And to just dominate this field in a way that no one else is doing in Houston.
That's awesome, man. So when it comes to luxury real estate, what's a price range, or what's the starting price range you look at when it comes to luxury real estate in Houston?
So yeah, just as a general rule of thumb, the top 10% of any market is the luxury, quote unquote, luxury space. In Houston, historically, that's been the $500,000 plus.
Okay.
Although values have risen in recent times, I would step it up a little bit and say about 750,000 plus is luxury in Houston. Although others might say it's $500,000, but $500,000 doesn't get you that much in Houston. I mean, it gets you more than say LA, New York, Miami for sure, because our values are very much more reasonable compared to those places. But I would definitely say 750 plus.
I would assume that. So I'm in Dallas. I'd assume that Dallas is probably a similar market to Houston as well.
Texas has really great bang for your buck compared to other states. And I talk to agents from all over the country. What you can get for $1 million in Texas versus California or New York, like, whoa, like they can't even believe it.
Yeah.
Like you can get luxury home, the most beautiful homes here in Houston in River Oaks, which is arguably one of the richest neighborhoods maybe in Texas, for like, $500, $600 a square foot. In LA and New York, it's 500, 600 square foot. You ain't getting nothing, especially in Manhattan. So you can definitely get a good bang for your buck. Now, the flip side is, okay, property taxes in Texas are high, and it's not a secret. And people say, wow, I can't believe property taxes in Texas are high. But Texas has no state income tax. It's banned permanently. It's in the state constitution.
Yeah.
They cannot implement a state income tax ever.
Which is fantastic.
Yeah, that's fantastic.
That's fantastic.
So we got a little bit higher property taxes. Big deal. We've got some people in the state legislature trying to overcome that. But other than that, the values are lower as well. So, you might have lower state property taxes in New York or Cali, but your values are way more expensive. What you get for $1 million over there compared to $1 million here is a big difference. There's a big delta on that.
Yeah. And I like to use the word delta.
Yeah.
I like it. So what is something that I'd say the biggest lesson that, looking back out of all the experiences you had, everything that you've gone through, if you could go back and talk to your brand new, coming out of the military, starting real estate for the first time, what's that piece of advice that you're like, hey, you got to do this, you need to know this?
I would say get leverage as soon as possible. When you're in business for yourself, when I hired my first transaction coordinator, it was a little bit of a stretch. But I got to the point I was like, I'm wasting so much time doing the paperwork where I could be out there making more deals, making more business happen, which is the most important thing. When you're in business for yourself, your number one job is to generate leads, period.
Yeah, prospect.
Leads, follow up with your leads, call your leads, meet with your leads, take your leads to lunch. Don't eat lunch alone. Go to happy hour with them. That is it. And so, when you think like, I need to hire a transaction coordinator, oh, but gosh, that's going to cost me so much. I would have done it way earlier than when I did. Definitely.
It's a force multiplier.
Yeah.
It's a force multiplier.
And the right one who takes all of that off your plate is worth every single penny. So
absolutely
make that plunge before you even think you're ready to make that plunge.
Yeah, having staff to take off non-productive or non-income producing activities, but required activities, administrative activities, so like that, I agree 100%. Like the sooner you can do that, the better it is for your business. 100%. That's gold, bro. So I appreciate you coming. I know you have a time hack to hit.
Oh yeah, thank you.
The last question that I always ask all my guests is, you have 3 people that you can break bread with. I already probably know one of them. You have 3 people you can break bread with, have a meal, and just pick their brain and learn as much as you can. They can be living or they can be dead. Who are those 3 people?
That's a great one. I'll probably say Jesus Christ.
You would think a lot of people do Jesus, and not a lot of people do Jesus.
Yeah, really? Wow. I mean, yeah, I would say Jesus Christ, probably Warren Buffett. Warren Buffett would be a great one. The greatest investor of all time. And number 3, I would love to meet with Elon Musk.
Elon.
Yeah.
A lot of people do.
That guy is brilliant, and his level of thinking. I would love to meet with him and just learn from him. And, he's been so successful. It's because of his thinking, for sure.
That's awesome. That's awesome. I love it.
Yeah.
Well, so thank you so much, Morad, for coming on the podcast and being part of this. I honestly appreciate it, and sharing a lot of your experiences and your knowledge when it comes to sales and everything that you've been through. I know that the listeners, the audience got a lot of value from this. If you're watching this, okay, there is a lot of value that Morad produced or provided for all of you. Morad, if anyone wants to follow you, I mean, it's going to be in the show notes, but what's the best place to follow you, maybe reach out to you, anything like that?
Oh, absolutely. So I am all over social media. Let's connect on your favorite platform, whether that's Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter, TikTok, YouTube. I'm all over. Whatever's your favorite platform, let's connect. I would love to continue the conversation. And you can always find me at which I will say the premier website for luxury homes in Houston, HoustonLuxuryRealEstate.com or MoradFiki.com or your favorite social media platform. I'd love to keep the conversation going. Thank you, Greg. Thank you so much for allowing me to speak with your audience. I really appreciate it.
Man, it was my pleasure. For those of you watching, make sure that this is a lot of value. And if you learn anything, if you grew, if you, changed your mindset, or if you just took a little nugget of knowledge away, do me a favor. I need your help. Share this content with other people that can also grow it, that can also learn from it. This is the best thing that you can actually do for Morad, because you never know. It could help him to get a client, right? Like that is a nice thing that you could do. It takes none of your time to just share this content with somebody maybe in Houston that you know. Put it on your social media, put it on your stories, whatever. But it helps Morad for him giving you his time and sharing his experiences. As always, this has been the Be the Difference podcast. I'm your host, Greg Birch. Until next time, deuces. We'll see you.